All right. All right, we're here, folks. Don't worry, we're here. I know I've been missing all week, but I've had a lot of shit I've been working on. I have had a lot of shit I've been working on. We've been busy. Busy. How's everybody doing? I left the category on Tarkov because I honestly don't know what else to put it on. Figured we'd go over the Q&A a little bit. I got a video coming out, but I figured we could do it over the we'll do it on stream. What about the lighthouse map rework? What did Nikita say again? He says, you just need to get better at the game. Cough clear up? I mean, a little bit. It's still there. Saw a 352 sticker the other day. The Raiders, they got in trouble in Ireland once because the Raiders thing, when the Herc flies in, they pop the escape hatch on the roof and fly the fucking Union Jack, or not the Union Jack, the pirate flag. What is that called? What's the pirate flag called? Trying to find a picture of it as they taxi in. Yeah, here you go. The Jolly Roger, thank you. Yeah, they fly the Jolly Roger fucking as they taxi in. And I guess that's like a super, I can't remember the exact story why, but it's like a super no-no in Ireland, I guess. Like super no-no. They got in a fuckload of trouble for it. How's the project for our creators coming along? Busy, man. RG's working his ass off, but guess what? We actually have the website is there. You can go to Our Creators Pro now. I should probably start putting shit on the Bargy never played it, so he's struggling a little bit with some of the stuff because he never actually played the game. What's the Discord link? I'm building the command right now. Do you need to hop into a call with Bargy? Redstone, I'm lucky if I get a call, if I get a talk with him like once a week. He's so fucking busy right now with like, this isn't his only project. He's got his own project he's doing. But having this website up so people can look at it now is going to be a huge step in the correct direction. Can you have multiple invites? All right, try the command Arc Raiders Pro. See if it works. Should work. Should bring up everything. There we go. Anybody on YouTube? Ivan, can you test it real quick? Make sure it's working on YouTube too, please. All right. Neural enhancement implant. Whoa. The audio startled me. I told Bargy to bump up the skill tree so it's not just at 15, so that people can actually play with it. It doesn't give us the what it actually one does yet either. Coming, it'll all be coming. All right, so for the Q&A, pull up Trent's video.
There's a huge plans.
Now you're all in big, big trouble.
Let's see, what are some of the they asked about the stylish one task, which didn't really. Why don't I have a podcast about Tarkov plus other games? Because I don't have time to do it, dude. Lister and I have talked about doing a podcast. We've just.
Okay, I thought that this task is always in the game, so I don't know, maybe.
So she was asking about stylish one, which they pulled out because they moved stylish one to, they basically moved so the only point of stylish one was to get the tracksuit, right? But then they moved that to the achievement, the tracksuit, and then got rid of stylish one. So would I be open to being on the unsubscribe podcast if they invited me? Yeah, but they're not going to invite me, dude. I'm not anywhere near interesting enough to go on. They invite actually interesting people on. I'm just an old gamer, man.
It's a mistake or something. We will check, but yes, I will check it.
So we'll go pull that up here real quick. So the achievement is the killer one. I forget what it's called. Master of Ultra. This unlocks the tracksuit now. So because of that, they got rid of stylish one.
next one.
Hello, thank you for taking my question. With the 1.0 release, I've heard that there will no longer be wipes. Will there be something like seasons, or will there still be wipes, or what is currently the plan?
1.0のリリースの後はワイプがなくなるっていうふうに聞いたんですけど、みたいなものが、ローンチされるっていう可能性はありますか？
We plan to have additional seasonal character, and it will be with wipes, but the main character will stay without wipes. That's the plan.
So big. That's actually, like, he just kind of casually blew through it. That's actually a huge point that he just made right there. Huge point that he just made right there. Because he hasn't talked about that in several years. And he basically just reconfirmed what he talked about. I think it was like 2021. Might have been 2022. But it was a long time ago. And so we're going to get this seasonal character. Whoops, wrong button. We're going to get this seasonal character that's going to wipe every time. Or profile. Along with your permanent character that never wipes. And how you're gonna, what we don't know is how these two are gonna split, how they're gonna differ, what worlds these two play in, right? Is the permanent character just part of the where you escape from Tarkov? Or do they share stats? You know, do you only unlock that second character once you get through the main storyline? We don't know any of that yet. Like, nothing in the UI is built. Like, this UI, there's nothing in this UI built right now to do something like that. I guess the PvE zone thing is similar, but that, man, that's a whole, when you click on that, you're practically loading a whole new game, man. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see how that actually plays out. You know, what it's gonna mean, what it's gonna do. The next question is really not.
追加のシーズナルキャラクターが
Every single
Okay, so this guy asked about if there's any secrets in the game the players still have yet to discover. You know, and I think we all pretty much know that's not the thing, just because of the data miners and stuff. The data miners literally spoil everything. Like, there's content creators that's their entire their only reason they exist is because they data mine, right? So it's kind of, I don't want to call it a bad question, because it could just be the translation was goofy that I read. So here's what Nikita says about that.
Okay, so it's always something that we try to fight, and every single new patch, for example, we have something secret, some secret changes, yes.
So, I mean, basically just said that there's going to be secret changes with every patch, which we already know that. They always do surprises and things like that. So it was just, I don't know, there was just not much from that question.
Of course.
So the next one is here. What are the plans for new gear and equipment and content after 1.0? And there's going to be this is a really important answer.
We have modeled a lot of stuff in advance for 3 years in advance. So we have a lot of stuff to implement, and we will add new stuff right after release. And the year after and the year after, we have a lot of stuff to add to the game.
3年前からこのリリースに関してはずっと準備をしているので。
Okay, so having 3 years of stuff modeled out already is crazy. Like, that's actually kind of crazy. It's smart from a business and team management perspective. It's really smart. It sucks from our perspective, right? Because we all, like, especially now, right? We didn't get any content with a hardcore wipe. We got the AK-50, right? That's all we got with a hardcore wipe. But they have all of these guns and all of these things that are ready to be put in, or close to being ready to put in if they're modeled. And they don't put them in. Because, like everything else, there's a release schedule. Somebody asked about them adjusting, and it was just a yes. It's like literally all he said was yes.
Yes.
Like, that's it. He just says yes.
Yes.
And the question was, are they going to make any adjustments to difficult tasks like test drive and Tarkov shooter? Like, it's Nikita being a little coy with it, so it's like he's looking at us right now, chat. Look at this. He's looking right at us when he says it. What if the hardcore wipe was to get people to not want to play the game so they don't feel burnt out? There's no grand strategy, Devil Ferret. I know a lot of people like to think of stuff like that, but there's no like really big grand strategy to all of this. There just isn't. The next question, I think, is the female character question, right?
Not as playable character.
Yeah.
But
so the girl asked if there's going to be female characters.
There will be characters, female characters in the game, but not playable.
Which that question comes up about every other year. Somebody asks it just because they don't know the history. The next one was, are there plans for additional unique wipes like the hardcore wipe after 1.0?
Well, we have an idea to have like each wipe needs to be special, especially when we will have the seasonal seasons. We will try to have unique wipes every time.
So, again, reading too much into this, to be honest with you. I'm going to do that, right? I'm going to read too much into it because I'm allowed to. But this reads to me like he's going to be heavily influenced by like Path of Exile and how they do seasons, right? Now, Tarkov is not going to go to the extent of Path of Exile because for those of you that aren't familiar, Path of Exile wipes regularly, and each time it wipes, each season is like a brand new game. Like things get like skill trees, all of this shit gets completely overhauled. It's a shitload that changes, right? And that's how Path of Exile keeps itself fresh. Is that each season, right? And each season plays and feels completely different. And I could see them trying to do something like that in Tarkov, where each season, like you have one season, and just for example, like one season, there's no assault rifles. They just don't exist. They take all the assault rifles out of the game. Or one season, there's, you know, grenades do extra damage or explosives do extra damage or something. You know, so things like that. But a lot more thought out, other than me just trying to, off the top of my head, talk about it here. I think that's what we're going to see. That could be copium. It might not be that, but the way Nikita makes it sound like is they want to do, and he's hinted at this in the past. You know, instead of doing, like, you know how we used to get mid-wipe events, like through 2023 and even part of 2024, We got like midwife events. Like
What is up?
Big Poppy, thank you for the 22 months. Appreciate you. That's what the seasons are gonna kind of be like, is what I kind of feel like. Maybe we'll see.
もちろんあります。毎シーズンのワイプに関しては必ずユニークにな。
Thank you again. Will the Bear faction get an advantage against Black Division or some other advantage in the same way that USEC has an advantage against Rogues? Is anything in that regard future planning?
So it's just the USEC rogue question for Bears, right? When are the Bears going to get their rogues? You know, a faction that attacks USEC but doesn't attack Bear, right? And we were told that it was going to be some kind of RUAF, probably terminal kind of deal, and that's obviously changed a little bit, just based on Nikita's answer here.
アドバンテージがあると思うんですが。
For example, we will have we will have Russian armed forces units roaming around, and they will not kill you if you are the bear. Basically.
So there you go. We're gonna have patrolling RUAF units, which brings into question that old idea, that old thought we got. Are we gonna get like patrolling UNTAR as well?
And also on the terminal mission, maybe we will do that thing also that if you are USEC, you will have no help from them, RUAF, but if you are bear, you will get a help from them too.
はい、あります。ベアを使用していく上で、ベアにもアドバンテージ。
We don't know if they're going to be running around all the maps, Ivan. Like, we don't know. We just know they're going to be patrolling somewhere. When he mentions the MTX coming over from Arena, he never said that. I never picked up on microtransactions being discussed anywhere. Okay. So yeah, the RUAF won't shoot you as a bear, but they will shoot you as a USEC. And just based on what I saw during the terminal, what I played at terminal, the RUAF is no joke. They're going to be pretty. They didn't quite seem as crazy as rogues, but you don't fight against them, so it's kind of hard to tell. He talks about the skins from Arena. Wait till I get. We'll get there, Sniper Main. There was no mention of microtransactions. Okay. That was I don't know if you heard that from somebody else, so that part took me like 10 minutes to figure out, because the auto translation on Google didn't work, and I had to really dig in to figure out what the young lady asked, if you're talking about the weapon skin stuff.
This is my favorite event too.
So the next question is, will there be another zombie event? And it's good and bad news out of this.
The event is the best. And of course, we plan to have it bigger and cooler, because we actually didn't do a lot of things related to that event in the first place. So the next event, I'm not sure about this October one, but the next it will be like more enriched and more cooler version of first zombie event.
Okay, so no big zombie event this year. Really big one next year. More enriched, more stuff to it, bigger for 2026. I don't think that means a Halloween event is out of the question this year. I just don't think it's going to be a big deal. Like, even if all we get is like a rehash of the zombies, if we just get the zombies again, I think it would be cool, because it would also give people a chance to get the achievements if they wanted. If they wanted to do exactly the same thing again. What kind of equipment was the RAF using? Just Russian stuff. It wasn't anything. It wasn't like Black Division, where Black Division had all new kind of gear. A lot of the gear we have in Tarkov, especially stuff on proper, This stuff is all standard Russian. Like, this is Russian military gear here. So, I mean, they were wearing stuff like this and the Karund. There was a guy wearing a Zabralo that I saw. And, you know, they were running AKs and AK-12s and PKPs and stuff like that. So, new players deserve to see what we saw. Yeah, dude. I think just redoing the Halloween event over again would be perfectly fine. You're going to have people that bitch about it, but I think it would be perfectly fine for people to do. Let's see. The next one's about connecting all the maps together.
Next one, please. Yeah, okay. Depends on the tech.
So the question was roughly, will you be able to ever connect all your maps together to make them seamless?
We always had plans about it, but it depends on the technical side of the game. So we're still searching for the best solution how we can do it technically perfect. So yes, it's in the plans, but I don't know when exactly it will be possible actually.
So they still want to do it. I wouldn't expect it to ever happen, guys. Like, I think it's interesting that they're still trying to try to find a way to do it. It would be cool if we get a DLC in 2 years and Tarkov does become open world. That would be cool. I don't think it's ever going to happen. It'd be nice, but I don't think it's technically possible for them to do it. Not with as much detail as they've put into each map. When they designed each map, they really didn't design them to be run. And again, who knows what happens the next year or two with technology, especially as AI steps up and you might be able to get better solutions through AI assistance and things, but just don't see it happening. This next question's a weird one. Excuse me.
何度もすみません。製品版以降で新しくマップを追加するとかそういった考えありますか?
So there was a lot of this. There was a lot of this question that I didn't get. The auto translate talked about adding products in Japan. I don't think that's the gist of the question, right? I think that there's something fucked up in the translation here. And again, I don't have access to anybody. Like Midnight Lyrics in my Discord will translate shit from Russian for me like that. They speak both fluent Russian and English, and they're really good at getting the subtext and the context. And Japanese is actually a very difficult language to translate. Very difficult. So we'll listen to see what Nikita answers here and talk about it.
Yes, of course. And it's not just one, it's several. So yeah, we just need to wait for that. So even after 1.0 release, it doesn't mean that we will stop or we will do something simple after that. There is a huge plans. There are huge plans ongoing for the next, I think, 5 years or something. So it will be a lot of content for Tarkov 100%.
Okay, so 5 years. We've heard a little bit of this. We've heard different dates: 7 years and 10 years and 9 years and shit like that. We've heard different dates from BSG depending on who you're talking to in the context of the conversation. What I'm picking up here is that they've already got a storyboard for the next 5 years. Like they've got something laid out, rough sketched at least for 5 years of plans. Which is great. That's great because it means they're having a little foresight and they want to keep, like, all this talk about Tarkov being killed off at 1.0 is fucking nonsense. It's all nonsense. So what we'll see and how good it'll be remains to be seen. You know what I mean? And then next up is there any plan to implement like gun skins like an arena at the Tarkov main branch? Okay.
実装する予定はありますか?
Yes, yes, of course, yes. I don't know when, but maybe in a couple of batches.
Okay, so the only clear thing I could get out of this when she asked it was she was asking about gun skins, like they have an arena, and adding them to the Tarkov main branch. And we already knew the answer to this because they said they're, you know, we knew skins were coming to Tarkov, but that doesn't mean everybody understands it. Especially, I don't know how robust the Japanese Tarkov community is as far as content creators, and how well up to date they are with news. Because think about how much you guys hear from me and how much you hear from other content creators that is crossways, right? I say something and somebody else says something different because we either have a different interpretation or, as is usually, they're just wrong and I'm right because I'm always right. Right, chat? I'm always right. Right? So as far as the Japanese community, I don't know how robust they have on content creators that are reporting news and how well caught up they are. I tend to think maybe not all that much, simply because they have asked several questions here that are like stuff we've known for a long time that's pretty common knowledge there is getting asked here as questions. And that could just because of somebody who's new to Tarkov, 100%. But like from the get-go, we knew that gun skins were coming to Tarkov. The ones you earn in Arena, you will be able to use in Tarkov. Okay, this is the big fucking answer right here.
Is there any plans to revamp the skill leveling? Because right now, the way it is, you usually, with the wipe system as well as with hitting prestige, you hit level 55 and your skills are only level 20 at most, except for metabolism, of course.
Nikita,
plans to increase
he already knows.
Or something?
He already knows the answer. I mean, Nikita's already knows the answer.
現在のそのスキルレベルのそのシステムっていうのが、まあ、ワイプがあるのが元になっているので、このワイプがなくなるタイミングを見計らって、まあ、1.0 のリリースと同時に、スキルレベルのレベリングのシステムの調整っていうものを入れるものがありますか?
Yes, so one of the reasons, one of the main things in 1.0 is to have everything balanced. So we actually did a lot of research about it, how we can actually change and alter all of these multipliers to the skill progression, so it will be. And another thing that we are currently thinking about, so right now, actually, I will say about it a little bit later.
はい、あります。1.0
Okay, so first little bit here. So he goes through each of these answers and lets the guy do the translation so it isn't one big long one.
So a little bit of insider information. As you know, right now we have a hardcore wipe, and it's a little bit controversial, but I like it.
This is the one that got everybody. This is the one that got everybody spooled up.
And so we decided that we still have time till the 1.0 release and we will have a period of time. It could be another wipe. It will be called soft core wipe. It will be for those who just want to chill, you know, and it will be really smooth. Everything will be fine. We all
Hello
fine,
there.
blah blah blah. But just to
Oh,
have
fancy seeing you here.
I looked up and saw you on Discord.
a comparison, just to have like the difference between them. So maybe it will be with wipe, maybe without. We'll see. And there we also will test skill progression levels and everything like that.
All right, we can break here and talk about that because she changes subjects a little bit. So, the question was about skill leveling, right? And Nikita spent about 3 seconds talking about that and then just off on a tangent. They're actively working on balancing skills, which is good. He mentions maybe doing a softcore wipe to really level them up so they can balance them better and get some more information. He talked about how he likes the hardcore wipe, even though it was more controversial and blah blah this and blah blah that. This whole softcore wipe thing got shut down pretty quick though. I don't want to say quickly, but relatively quickly. Let me find. I'm trying to find the tweet here. Here it is. He relatively quickly said probably no wipe. I wouldn't say he's on the fence on it. It's not on the fence at all. I mean, he says probably no wipe because it doesn't make any sense to wipe. There's no reason to reset everybody a month before. Like, if they do a wipe a month before, nobody will be playing Tarkov. Like, literally, nobody's going to stop playing Arc Raiders or Battlefield 6 to play a new wipe at Tarkov, right? Well, I don't think he was joking around. He was just speaking off the top of his head. Is a more I think justified way of saying it is he was just thinking out loud, which Nikita does regularly, does that all the time. And then just had to correct himself later. I think what's going to happen sorry, talking about with Bargy about Arc Raiders Pro over here.
Fuck Bargy.
What's going to happen is we're going to end up seeing like an extended pre-wipe event. I think that's what we're going to see. At some point, they're going to turn on like an event that's going to let you level up your skills really fast. I kind of expect to see that sooner than later because of the snafu with Arena and having it's a small group of people, but a group of people that have maxed out skills. I think that might be one of the first things you see once they get done with hardcore is to let everybody level up their skills. And then you're going to see traders unlock. And we'll probably at some point see a completely open flea market. And they'll kind of let that play out probably the last couple of weeks or month of the wipe. That's kind of what I'm expecting to see. Which that's not that long from now. We've got 3 weeks, and then you're a month from the wipe. So yeah.
まあそのこの前行われた、ハードコアワイプの比較として、1.0 の
I do no
ソ
inertia.
フトワイプ
Say what?
Chef said no inertia, unlock everything's.
You mean make it like ABI?
Yeah.
We have it will be pretty soon. I
It'd be
don't know
silly
the
to
exact
unlock it or to turn inertia off because it's going to be on for 1.0. So
Yeah, I mean, test stuff that you can test, but it's not going to be a good test either because it doesn't matter what they change. Again, the pragmatic truth of it, guys, nobody's coming back to Tarkov after Arc Raiders launches.
I will.
Battlefield for 2 weeks.
I'm not. I wasn't a huge fan of Arc Raiders. I don't like third person.
Yeah, well, you're a fucking crybaby bitch.
No, if they made first person, it'd be a completely different story.
The
third person shooters are fucking trash.
The Battlefield 6 is going to take some players away from Tarkov, but not all that many, right? You'll see a dip in the player population probably. The raids will be a little bit less full, but it's not going to be super drastic. Arc Raiders, you're going to see a big hit. And it's not just because of Arc Raiders, it's because of the close timing to 1.0. Like the last 2 weeks, like once people know when this is a big reason BSG stopped announcing wipes is because it kills off the player base. Because people, when you don't have progression or you're not working towards something and you know it's going to get deleted, you kind of just stop. The Tarkov kind of loses its luster during that period, right? So it's a combination of something new and shiny showing up that's adjacent to Tarkov 2 weeks before wipe is going to be, all of those things together are going to have a big impact on the player base come the 30th. The interesting thing's going to be is what happens with 1.0. You know, we're going to see Steam numbers at that point for people that play on Steam. They're going to be very small, right? Does anybody know anybody that's going to buy it on Steam to play it on Steam that already owns it? Does anybody, nobody I know is doing that. Like nobody. Now that doesn't mean nobody's doing it. It's just, I don't know anybody that is. So the Steam numbers are going to be very small, but you're going to be able to see it. They're going to still be indicative of the overall population change. Like, but we'll see. There may be a shitload of people that played Tarkov until like 2020, 2021, and then quit playing, sold their accounts, and then they're going to come back for 1.0, and they might buy it through Steam. Like that kind of stuff. I don't know. It's funny because you'd sure think there was, with all the bitching and moaning that was going on socials about the Steam thing and having to buy it again, you'd think that there'd be more people that were going to do it, and there just isn't. I just don't know of anybody that's actually going to go through it. If it was free, yeah, a lot of people would do it. But all of this plays into the fact that anything they do is just not really going to matter that much. Like, I'm going to be in Battlefield 6 full mode freaking on the 10th. And unless they completely screw the pooch, like, and even if they do, right, we've got Arc Raiders a week later for the weekend. And then it's 2 weeks after that? Week and a half. And then the full release. So, and I'm super busy with the Arc Raiders Pro stuff right now. That's why I've been streaming all week. I've been working on a lot of shit for that and other things. What is Arc Raiders Pro? ! Arc Raiders Pro, chef. We're going to make a tools website. We have made a tools website for Arc Raiders. And we will launch the full product on the 30th. We've got an alpha running up right now. So be working on that a lot. But yeah, I don't know, man. I think Tarkov is going to be a fucking ghost town, like pre-Christmas of 2019, January 2020, ghost town. Which, talk to anybody who played before that and how dramatically different the game was just in a couple of months how much it changed. Like, it was normal. Like, you waited 5-10 minutes to get into a match because that's how long you waited for players, because there just wasn't that many people playing. Okay, let's see. He's got more stuff.
But we will do it before 1.0 just to check things, and I guess one of the ideas will be to show the difference that hardcore is better than softcore, so it will be like another test.
まあこのソフト
That's how long you wait now. I mean, I haven't played all week, but you're waiting 3 to 4 minutes on some maps are longer, sure. But it's also abnormal right now, Midge, that you're waiting that. If you go into factory, or you go into customs, or if you go into, oh yeah, you're doing insomnia, dude. Yeah, there's not very many people at night. Yeah, insomnia is definitely going to be worse. You're waiting like 7-8 minutes on streets, aren't you?
I was, yeah.
Yeah.
Streets in general have been pretty long.
Interchange. You go interchange night. It was quick, at least a week ago.
I was waiting about 4 or 5 minutes on interchange. I did my last kills on there.
And one more thing, in 1.0,
Nighttime customs was going fast. And those are the only 3 nights I went.
Hardcore wipe will be added to 1.0, some of them, because again, we tested a lot of things for the hardcore wipe, and I am a big fan of everything being super hard as our life itself. So we'll add something in that, so please prepare yourself that the 1.0 release and the whole progression will be slower and it will be a little bit harder.
So there you have it. And that's going to send, it hasn't yet, because I just don't think people have figured it out or have gotten that far or haven't paid attention to it. But there's going to be stuff from the hardcore wipe in 1.0. And that is going to fucking send people into apoplectic fits, even though we don't know exactly what he's talking about. So, and the progression is going to be a lot slower. And the game's going to be a bit more difficult and all that kind of jazz. Which, if there's a bunch of new content and there's a bunch of stuff you're working towards, I don't think it's going to matter that much, to be honest with you.
And the last thing that I want to say about 1.0, and I usually say that to the interviews and stuff over here, that there is the main thing about 1.0 is basically you're able to escape from Tarkov. We will have a special mission, like special quests, totally separate system that will allow you to complete a lot of things and finally escape from Tarkov. So that's the main idea, the main thing about 1.0.
最後になってしまうんですが、まあこの
And there will be 4 different endings, and it will depend on your like completion and progression and everything like that. And for those who want to achieve, who want to escape with the best ending, it will be really hard, and actually not everyone will escape from Tarkov at all. I think it will be something around 2% of all the player base. So it will be really hard, it will be really challenging, and you can treat it as an achievement of your life to finally escape from Tarkov and be happy, I don't know.
Okay, some meme in there by Nikita and stuff, but this kind of solidified in my head what we're going to see with the game. The 1.0, like Tarkov is still going to be Tarkov, right? It was a big question a lot of people had, and I didn't have an answer for. I kind of have a bit better of a picture. It's still a blurry picture, but it's a little bit better of a picture now. And to me, it sounds like Tarkov is still going to be Tarkov, right? We're still going to have the same processes. Nothing much is going to change, except at the start and at the end of kind of our playthrough. So what I'm foreseeing here is that you're going to have a heavily modified beginning to Tarkov when we first start off at the wipe, as far as like unlocking maps and shit like that, which we'll get into that here in a sec. Where does he... Oh yeah, he talks about the next question. So very, very heavily modified start and spool up. I would say probably till you're about level 15, maybe 20. And then the middle of the game is going to be the same, very similar. It's still going to have storyline missions and shit like that, but it's going to be pretty similar to what we play in Tarkov now. You're going to be doing side quests. You're going to be trying to level up your traders. You're going to be working towards some ability to escape from Tarkov, if you will. And then the very end, like in, you know, kind of like right now, the end for people, the Kappa isn't even the end. Fucking Prestige isn't even the end anymore, right? There's a lot of shit with Lightkeeper and other stuff you can do. So what I think we're going to see is we're going to see some stuff at the end now that has to do with escaping Tarkov that's going to be heavily changed. And that's kind of how I feel like we're going to roll into 1.0. Heavily changed start, pretty standard middle, heavily changed ending until we get into the next season. He talked about the 4 different endings. Depending on your completion, your progression. We've kind of known that. He's kind of hinted at that for a while. The best ending will be really hard. By best, figure like the most prestigious one or probably the coolest one, whatever you want to say. He emphasized that not everybody's going to escape from Tarkov. Something like 2% of the player base. That I think he's memeing there, chat. I don't think he actually means only 2% of people are going to escape from Tarkov. I could be wrong. I could be wrong about that, but I think he's memeing a little bit there. Because getting back to what he said earlier about having 2 profiles, right? One that wipes, one that doesn't. There's nothing to keep you from escaping Tarkov now if you have a permanent profile. 2% got level 2 rag. No, 2% of the existing player base since January of 2023, 2022 have gotten Ragman level 2 this wipe. Big difference, Chef. Big difference. Like, if you go look at that thing, like, let's look at in that context, right? Like, a lot of people try to make, there's a lot of people, okay, I'm going to be specific. There's a lot of content creators that try to use these stats, and they're either being disingenuous to you or they have no idea what the fuck they're looking at. They haven't passed fucking 3rd grade math or something. I don't know. Anybody making a big deal out of, which one is it? It's The Last Ride, 2.2%, right? Nearly the same number of people have only survived 300 raids. And by the way this thing measures it, right? Same number of people have got 300 raids survived. That number is not as small as it looks like. Sure, it's not as much as how many people have, only 45% of the people they count have died in Tarkov. And this is because this counts accounts from before they added achievements of people that don't play anymore. Either deleted, I don't know if it counts deleted accounts, banned accounts. I don't know any of that stuff. I don't know if it's just inactive accounts. So this whole thing that 2%, it pisses me off when I see this because it's fucking meaningless. Blah, you can tell this wipe sucks because only 2.2% of people got Ragman. It's like, oh my, shut up. Fucking shut up. You don't know how to use numbers. Stop using them. Go back to fucking drooling in your anime. Okay, I got that out of my system. So 2% of people, I think he's kind of memeing there. He's just kind of joking. I don't think everybody's going to escape from Tarkov because people are just going to give up because the game's fucking hard, right? The game's hard. It's supposed to be hard. He wants escaping from Tarkov to be an achievement like getting Kappa. But that being said, without there being wipes resetting you now, like that number is just going to steadily tick up, right? Think about all the PvE players. There's tons of stories of guys that play PvE that have been playing Tarkov for 4 or 5 years and they've never gotten Kappa, or they've never gotten past, like, let's say level 30, or they've never gotten max traders because they can't play enough in a single wipe to do it. It's not a skill thing. It's they literally can't play enough. And PvE allows them, because of no reset progression, to do that.
Oh, don't be fucking nice. They're just bad at the game.
The only people that are bad at the game, listen to the people that say they play PvE because of cheaters.
Right, which is like 90% of
No,
PvE.
that's just the people that pitch on Twitter.
No, it's like 90% of PvE says that they don't play because there's too many cheaters.
So, yeah, that's my take on that. Take it or leave it. You're gonna see. I guess my thing is you're gonna see a lot of people play up some of this shit that Nikita said in here, and I want you guys to be more educated than that and not be rage baited, because that's all it is. There's gonna be a lot of content creators that rage bait this shit because they don't have anything else to do.
まずエンディングなんですけど、全部で4つぐらいある。その人、
I think we will receive some yes.
まあ楽しんでやってください。
So yes, it will be a really special thing, and I think we will receive a lot of hate, but if you will succeed and escape, you can actually use it as a major argument in any kind of discussion that basically you escape from Tarkov, you're the best, and other
Did I play PvE
just
because of cheaters?
simple people.
They can't hear you over Nikita anyways.
Pretty good. I almost said something very mean.
So you can see Nikita's joking around, right? He's joking around a lot. They want the escape from Tarkov badge, actually escaping from Tarkov, to be something special. Like, they want it to be hard. They don't want it. It's not going to be fucking Super Mario Brothers where you just got to hit the flag, right? It's going to be something difficult, which I think is a good thing.
I can't wait till all PvE players have to reset their account.
You did 590 damage absorbed by armor using 545 BS. Is that an armor bug or an ammo bug? I don't know, man. BS, if you hit somebody in the arm, a lot of times a high level plate's going to stop it. Also, I'm pretty sure that when you shoot somebody in the thorax and the round punches through them and hits their back plate, and let's say that back plate stops the round, then that gets counted as well. I know, super helpful, right? You care that the round that already did damage to the back plate. But I'm pretty sure that's what's happening in the game based on some of the conversations I've had with BSG. That screen used to be really reliable, UO, for figuring out what the fuck happened. It's pretty much been dog shit for the better part of a year now.
Well, Chef, they kind of are force wiping it, unless you just don't want the new content.
So keep it in with a grain of salt, man. If you start seeing weird shit, just discard it. Don't melt your brain trying to decipher it, because they've got, with all the stuff going on, there's a lot of weird shit. So all right, let's see. Every time bike comes up too, chat, that's raid. There's something really close to the Japanese word for bike and raid. It took me a while to figure that out because they kept talking about bikes, and I'm like, what the fuck? There's no bikes in Tarkov. Why are they talking? So I had Grok explain it. I got into LLM and it explained to me that they're very phonetically similar. So it's probably just a mistranslation Google's doing through YouTube.
Unfortunately, no mercy for the new players. But
no mercy for the new players, and it's exactly how it should be. We all had to walk to proper uphill both ways in the snow with no shoes. Everybody else should have to do it too. Right, chat? We all had to struggle. Everybody new should have to struggle, right? Give me a scav bike in raid. Having fucking scavs biking around, dude. You know how funny it'd be to shoot one of them and watch them eat shit? Oh.
With the 1.0,
Probably as good as killing a scav as they're getting ready to extract, you know?
we designed this beginner level of gameplay and overall progression for the beginners. So basically we'll have a lot of helpful things at the start to help you start playing the game. So basically 1.0 is the best chance for you as a beginner to start playing Escape from Tarkov.
Okay, so this is a big new thing, and this kind of plays into my thoughts that I had earlier. That they have this whole new level of gameplay and progression for beginners to help you start out the game, right, with 1.0. And hopefully, it's a system that can be skipped so that I don't have to play it. And everybody who's new to the game doesn't have to play with me. You know what I mean? So we'll see what it is, if it's going to be some kind of tutorial process, if it's going to be kind of like the system I've said for a long time where, like, if you're under level 15, you don't run into fucking there's split lobbies under level 15, right? If you're under level 15 and you go to customs and woods, that's all you got. If you go to any other map, then it's one lobby. But you give new players a chance to get their fucking feet underneath them. I think it's super important for the health of the game. I know we all had to suffer the hard way, and I'm not like trying to argue that there isn't value in that and learning and that kind of stuff. My point is that if you want the game to be healthy, you have to have a place for beginner players to learn the game. Because you don't learn the game when you get your fucking teeth kicked in by somebody you never see and don't know where they're at. You just don't learn anything. So that's my take on that. But we'll see. And I think BSG understands that as a game company too. You know, as a business, you want to be able to onboard new players. So you have to have a system to do it. That isn't just content creators making guides, right? She's asking about Calyx being in the game. Caltrop. It's fucking Borderlands. Caltrop. That's all it makes me think of.
No, I don't know.
No.
I don't know everything about the game. I have a team of like 300 people, and I'm the one usually just standing with microphone and speaking things.
So it's one of the common complaints. You guys know what it is. We don't have the Calyx. You can't buy them. You can't barter for them. There's no way to get them other than like finding them in raid. Pulling them off dead players, usually lower level ones. Like that's the funny thing is somebody's under level 10. They've probably got a Calyx on them. Once they're over level 10, they've lost them all. But Nikita doesn't know anything about it. And you're gonna see people fucking make a big deal out of that. The dude isn't the one making balanced decisions, guys. Like he's not the guy in there going, okay, well, we don't want this or we don't want that. There's somebody on a team that's assigned to dealing with the hardcore balance, right? And so it's just to be frank about it, it's below his pay grade. But because it got brought up here and because it got mentioned, it might get addressed. We shall see.
Of course I know. Yes. No, I don't know. In the first place.
Oh, he actually asked this in English. This was in English. I think there was actually Trent asking this.
Will boss spawn chance still be 50% for 1.0? Please put aside.
So boss spawn.
Easier.
Will boss spawns be 50% at 1.0?
It's possible, because there is one special thing for the 1.0 that nobody knows, and you will know it in the first place, that you will need to open locations starting from the ground zero. So basically, you will receive the first quest. You need to open all of the locations one by one, and this actually will slow progression and will help you to get into the game easier. And maybe in that case, we'll have the spawns increased. And that's the question.
Okay, so a little bit of information here outside of the boss stuff, obviously. Sounds like when we get into 1.0, it's going to be kind of like there's going to be a system. You don't want to say like the hardcore wipe, but something parallel to it, where we're going to only have access to ground zero when we first get in, and then you're going to unlock each map after that. And to me, that sounds like, okay, well, you go from ground zero to streets, you unlock streets, and then you can just load into streets, right? And then the same thing with interchange and customs. And I think that's going to be part of the storyline stuff, so I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. It's not going to be like before, where you can only load into customs, and then you have to transit from customs, and then transits are fucked up, and all that other stuff, right? I don't think it's going to be like that, and then the process is going to be unlocking them is probably going to be through tasks. And which ones it's going to be, I don't know. But for example, like, because it's not going to be tasks we have now, it's going to be storyline tasks, is my guess. All new tasks. Remember, Nikita said, and he said this back in 2022, I believe. Might have been 2023. I mean, it was 2022. In spring of 2022, Nikita said he was done with the storyline quest writing. He had it done all the way back then. And that everything we're playing right now is just side quests. Like, all that we know of Tarkov now for questing is just side quests. So there's going to be storyline quests to unlock. So figure, like, for example, now the skier task to take the car, right? Something like that. Or maybe the Jaeger task to take the green flare. You know, those are going to be completing those are going to be what's going to unlock the next map for you. And you're going to have to do a series of those on each map as you work through Tarkov. I think that's what we're going to see, to be honest with you. And because of that process and progression being slowed down, that maybe they'll be able to do higher boss spawn rates.
ポイント王ではグラウンドゼロからマップを一つ一つアンロックしていくような形が取られると思います。その際にもしかするとボススポ
You can choose to raid the caravan.
Well, you guys at DSG absolutely fucking cooked with Terminal. It's amazing.
I like it.
Enjoying.
I can't tell if this is
What is it?
I can't tell if this is Trent, but I love how he just drops an F-bomb, right? Just like right here in front of all these people. Thank you. He asked him what his favorite map is.
まずはじめに最高のゲームを作っていた何ですか
Usually I answer on this, like, my favorite map, that one that I did, so that's customs, because I was spending hours and hours, 24/7 building that map. But the second one is Streets of Tarkov, of course, because it's the most environmental, narrative, enriched location ever. But unfortunately, it's not running well on everyone PCs, but it's the best.
All right. So, for those of you who didn't know, Nikita did customs. Like, that's his map. Not necessarily that he did all the artwork or did the textures, but he did the design, the layout, and that kind of stuff. White boxing, I guess you would call it. And not by himself, but he did a lot of it. So that's kind of his baby, which is kind of cool because customs is one of the best maps out there. It's not as good as it used to be. The new buildings have kind of made it a lot less cool, but whatever. And that's his favorite map because of that. But Streets is his probably favorite map simply because of the storytelling that's inside the map itself, which, you know, that you guys walk in, all the rooms are different. Like, they all tell a story. It's so much detail. It's absurd. There's a reason it took them like 4 years to make the fucking map, or 5, or whatever the hell it was. And one other thing to mention that he didn't mention that I want to bring up again is remember how he said that they're still trying to figure out how they're going to do streets and they might end up splitting it into two lobbies. We haven't heard anything more about that yet. See, those are the kind of questions I wish you would get instead of what is your favorite map? Like that kind of question is what I want is, hey, you mentioned, you know, a year ago, 2 years ago, is it a year ago or is it 2 years ago? No, you mentioned a year ago that we were going to get some kind of kill cam feature. What happened to that? Right? You guys remember that? And at TwitchCon last year, Nikita brought that up, that we were going to get some kind of replay feature, kill cam feature, something like that for Tarkov, and then we haven't heard a fucking peep about it since. The other one is going to be the streets one, right? What's going to happen with streets? Because we still don't have all the streets. I think we're at like 70% or 80% of the map. There's still a good chunk of it that isn't been added yet. So I don't know if they just bailed on adding it and they're going to make it all work on what they have, or if who knows? Maybe in 3 years when all our computers are twice as powerful as they are now, they can give us all of streets. You want someone to ask him about the API? Ask him what about the API?
Yes.
If a public API is going to happen, probably not, Scoo. I mean, it might eventually, but here's the dirty little secret, Scoo. Everybody who wants to build something for Tarkov has already access to the API. They've all unencrypted it and have access to it. All of your fucking favorite little side apps, Tarkov.dev, Tarkov Market, the wiki, they've all got access to the API already. Not supported. BSG doesn't support it, but they can't really do anything about it at this point. And game developers really can't. You can't really encrypt. I'm not going to get into it, but let's just say the API is there. If they're going to open up public access, I don't know. This question here is about basically, is there going to be another Christmas or New Year's wipe this year like we've had forever?
That's a really interesting question. Because I really don't know actually, because we didn't thought about it. Because all of our guys, like right now, they're working on polishing everything and preparing the release, and we didn't actually thought about it. Like, will it be additional wipe on New Year's Eve or not? Because it will be pretty short time, 1.5 months.
I started my degree in.
Oh my God, the ads. Why are there so many ads all of a sudden?
Good question. Thank you for that. We will discuss it later.
Okay, so to me there was a non-answer there, right? He's like, "Oh, we never thought about that. We haven't talked about it." That means there's not going to be a wipe, right? Right now, unless they change their minds, the fact that they hadn't thought about it means that there is no plan for one, right? So I wouldn't expect a wipe in November or December. Again, hopefully we get some events. Hopefully we get like Santa Claus and, you know, Christmas tree and all that shit, which I think we will. But I don't think we are going to get a Christmas or New Year's wipe. Just 1.5 months is too fast. Though it might not matter, right? Again, it depends on how they're doing this thing between these two profiles. they could do a wipe in December that resets all the streamers and the power gamers, you know. But if our standard profile doesn't get reset for playing through the storyline, then it doesn't matter if they wipe, right? You're doing a new season, you're only wiping those accounts. So who knows? It could come up. I don't know. I don't think there's going to be one. And you can see that he it's not something he's just discarding out of hand. Like, it's something that needs some discussion, because he fucking pulls his phone out right here and he's DMing somebody like, you know, hey, what are we thinking about for a Christmas wipe, right? Like, that's what he's doing right now. He's not ordering fucking pizza. What are your thoughts about the hardcore rape? Okay, so it's kind of a wishy-washy question, but we'll get him. Basically, the question is, what are your thoughts about the hardcore wipe as a developer compared to what you expected? So.
So I actually had that question just before that about hardcore wipe and everything. Me personally, I love more hardcore stuff, and I was always the fan of the struggle and challenging stuff. So for me, the harder the game is better, because it actually differentiate or funnel people into those who basically completed something really hard, and it will be their achievement. So that's the concept for me.
個人的にはゲームっていう
So in that case, I will continue on this thing. So in that case, I will try to do more things, more hardcore things, but Escape from Tarkov is widespread for all the audience, and it's just big. It's not only about the hardcore players, it's about the players who just want to play, I guess, something different, something intelligent, but still, I will try to do it more, harder, and we will see how it will go.
Okay, so Nikita talks, he liked the hardcore wipe, he loves it, that's what he wants in his game, blah, blah, blah. We already knew all that, right? But he acknowledges that a lot of people didn't like it. He accepts that it's a more widespread game. Like, there's a lot of people out there, and he's going to do more to target people that are in the middle range and play more casually, right? But he does want to add more hardcore stuff, but he wants to find a way. Again, he just wants to walk that knife's edge, right? That's what he's after right now, is just trying to walk that knife's edge to where he can maintain his vision, but not run off every player in the player base. So, yeah. Another... There it is.
Favorite boss?
Once again?
Favorite boss?
Favorite boss, okay.
See, cool. I guess Nikita makes most out of the question, but, like, again, where's our questions about?
一番お気に入りのボスは何ですか?
Of course, it's Killer. It's the signature one, Killer. And you know that we had it for a long time. Heavy Killer concept. We have it modeled like Killer with this, bomb-squad armor and everything like that, with the heavy machine gun. And I really wanted to get it in game. Maybe the first appearance of Heavy Killer will be in Arena, actually.
Okay, so this question's actually frustrating for me, his answer, right? Because, okay, cool, Killa's his favorite boss, and then the heavy Killa concept we've seen since 2020, mid 2023, maybe fall of 2023 was when we first saw it. And then we were told it was going to come with Arena. And then it just never happened. And here we are 2 years later. No heavy killa. It's not even an arena. The mode that it would have been an arena isn't even added yet. You know, they were thinking it was like maybe he shows up as a cleanup squad, but then they got rid of the cleanup crew. You know, so it's a frustrating answer for me because it digs up old stuff again that we heard about a long time ago, and has just been nothing else about it. And that, you know, to a fair criticism of Nikita and BSG, there's a lot of stuff they've done this with over the years, right? Where they tell us about something they want to add, and then they just decide not to, but then they don't say anything, right? It's not like, okay, well, we decided he told us that he wasn't going to be able to do customizable rigs, right? We were told that. Great, cool. We were looking forward to it, but it was just too much, and they triaged it and cut it off so that because they didn't have time to do it before 1.0. Cool. We know we've done that, but there's a lot of stuff that they've removed or said they're not going to do, and they just don't tell us for whatever reason. And that's frustrating to me. And this is one of them, is about whatever the fuck happened with heavy killa. Next one's about Lighthouse.
もちろんことがあります。
All of the bosses here, even the...
Nikita's talking about all the cosplay guys. They decided to cut staff, but no communication about that. Where'd you hear that from? What's Sunsky? I've heard nothing about that anywhere. Like that's the first time I've even heard that as a rumor. Every time I've heard BSG talk about employees, it's always gone up. Stuff. I thought that said staff. He says, I really hate the lighthouse map. Because you consider reworking it.
Why are you hating? Why?
Why do you hate it? There's a lot of close contact. There's not a lot of projectiles. I think he just means cover.
You need to get better.
I think that answers everybody's talk about Lighthouse getting a rework. You just got to get better. Nikita stated multiple times on Tarkov TV that they had to cut this and that and wanted to do this and cut that. I know, Chef. I'm in great awareness of what Nikita has said and what he hasn't. The bigger thing is that they're very rarely specific. And they always leave room for interpretation.
Thank you guys. You guys are great. Yes.
And then there was one last question about them coming to the Tokyo Game Show again, and he said, yeah, that they'll be going to Tokyo Game Show again next year. For the BSG guys, like this is their favorite thing to do. Like this is work for them, but it's also like their favorite kind of work. They love going to Tokyo. So, I bet once Tarkov dies down a little bit, you probably won't see them hitting the game shows the game conventions, the gaming conventions like they have, especially this year with the lead up to 1.0. They probably won't be doing it unless they've got another game to announce or something. But, you'll see guys around at like Tokyo and shit because it's easy for them. It's a pain in the ass for Russian to get in the United States. Absolute pain in the ass. So I don't expect to see him back in the United States. I could be wrong, but don't expect it. But again, no wipe. Probably no wipe before 1.0. Probably. Should probably not look at fucking Twitter and move around on my stream. Okay. I did pre-order the deluxe. Give me that fucking rooster cap. Give me that rooster cap. Shout it out again because I'm trying to get everybody out there to it. Bargy and I are building ArcRaiders.pro. Go check it out, ArcRaiders.pro. It's still an early alpha website. It still has a lot of work. We've made a lot of progress. Goal is to have at least something functioning by the server slam, but mostly functioning by the 30th. We've got a Discord that's a community Discord. This is part of it, but Arc Raiders is locked down right now, right? Their official Discord. So we wanted a place that people can use as a community. We're going to build that up. Place for people to find each other and play with each other. And discuss everything Arc Raiders. So that's there. And then the Patreon that we are going to use to support it. This is all this is just to help Bargy and I pay for all of the costs associated with getting this website built. And then giving you a chance to be a part of the development cycle. The hell? I don't even know how to use Patreon outside of freaking... Okay, so basically the idea is to get people involved with helping us and not just giving us money to build it, but involved in the actual process of building this out. Because the thing that I don't like is when you go to a lot of these websites, and I'm not going to bring them up because I don't want to get fucking shit bombed for shit talking other websites, but a lot of these websites that people make, and you guys know it, they're half-assed. They're money grabs. There's not really anything in there to them. So we want to make something that is driven and created by the community for the community. Acre Logger. So go check it out. Obviously, you don't have to support, but just plug in it so you guys know it's there. You can keep an eye on the website as we upgrade things and we get through it. Bargy's literally making changes. He's pushing several updates a day to it. And then check out the Discord. Come be part of the community if you're interested in Arc Raiders. ! Arc Raiders Pro. We'll bring up all the links for you. I can type those in. Should probably put that on a timer. I'll think about it. So yeah, if you guys are interested, appreciate you checking it out. That's what I've been working on all week. We've been working on it since June, but I haven't been streaming all week because we got the news on, was it Monday? Whatever day we got the news about them going to the server slam. What day was that? 22nd. So yeah, Monday. Had a bunch of stuff to work on and get that done and get that out. Plus working on videos. I don't know if Guy got that out or not. I got it to him pretty late. Because we got their video coming out this evening talking about everything. Any specific benefits to being members? Yeah, they're all listed on there. Watsonski, you go look at them. It'll give you, the big thing is it gives you access, kind of behind the scenes access, and you'll actually be kind of part of the development with direct feedback, and this will eventually be partially paywalled. We're not going to paywall the whole website, but there's going to be some features we're going to paywall, and obviously the Patreons will have access to that. And the benefits are all laid out on the Patreon for anybody that wants to be a part. Hopefully we can get some we got the big thing, we still got to get maps up. I know Bargie's kind of working on that. Some community help there, and then like this item, like the thing we want to do here is eventually, like when you click on the arc coolant, it'll tell you what it breaks down into, and it'll tell you what crafts it's for, or what it upgrades into. Not the right word. It'll tell you what crafts it's for and what it salvages down into, and then what like the in-raid and then the outer-raid salvages. So like the idea is that when you're in raid and you're like, you have no idea what's happening here, there's always this little bits of information you want to look at that they do a pretty good job in game of telling you some of the stuff, but not everything. So we're just trying to fill that gap, as well as helping people find loot. Eventually maybe, I only brainstormed with Bargie a little bit, but like if you need, agave, it'll have buttons you can click on that'll pull up the map and filter specifically that item so that you know exactly where to find it, kind of deal, We're gonna work, now that this is up, I can actually start sending emails out. I'm going to try to get official API access, so that we can do stats. Think like the old Battlefield stats where you could go look at all your stats and you didn't have to do it in game. Hopefully we can have a good system for that here. That is through official API access and isn't through unofficial like Tarkov.dev does and stuff. A lot of work to do, but we're getting there. Bargie's doing all the coding. I'm just helping advertise it, set it up, all that kind of stuff. Will we be able to see other player stuff? I don't know. Probably not. I don't like that. I think that's cheating. Whatsunsky in my mind. That's why I fucking hate, I hate Tarkov.dev. It's fucking borderline cheating. You're not supposed to have that information. See what fucking meds they have and... Like, I don't even like personally, I don't even like that you can see it in Tarkov. Like, when you die, you can see what the player, like, you can tell, like, if I get shot, I can look at the player's thing and be like, oh yeah, he's deadlist and you're good, right? I don't even like that you can do that. I don't think that's good for Tarkov. That doesn't belong in Tarkov. So you could be a similar problem here. So as far as seeing kits and stuff, I don't know. We'll see. It also matters on what the API provides, right? Again, that's part of Tarkov.dev pulling not having official supported API access, is they just kind of do whatever they want to do. They're not driven by the company. That's why official API access is better, because then anything you're showing is sanctioned by the game, right? You don't have any kind of conflict there, which is always a better way to go. There is articles. They aren't working. I don't know why this, but these articles are all just AI slop right now. We just had to have something plugged in there so that we could build it. I'll replace all of this shit with stuff I type. Or get somebody else to type, maybe. I don't know. We're gonna link news. We'll link the news website to here as well. So like when anything pops up on our creators, like the Discord, for example, it'll just show up here as well. So all the fresh news and stuff, you don't necessarily have to be in the Discord. You can see it. So we want to have a one-stop shop for everything. Anything that players could need, we want them to be able to have it. So we'll keep working towards that. And those that you support us, I appreciate it. Those that you use it, I hope you get a lot of use out of it. And yeah, 33 days, 12 hours, 36 minutes, 17 seconds. Oh, now I gotta decide what I'm gonna do. Because to be honest with you, I don't fucking feel like playing Tarkov. Play anything we'll watch? Well, I kind of want to go out in my garden. Like, I don't even want to play, I don't even know if I want to play games. We're right at the end of the season for the garden, so there's actually a lot of work to do. I've been doing a couple hours each day, so I don't know. I'm thinking, Chad. I'm thinking. I also have to rewrite all these articles still. This actually, yep, here we go. See, it's just AI slop, chat. Oh. It's actually, I mean, it's AI slop, but it's not bad for AI. Oh, does Bargy just pull this from somebody else? Oh, this is just super AI slop, dude. None of this can be real. I don't like that. I'll get that fixed this weekend. I'll get this stuff all replaced this weekend with real information, not fake articles. Broken Arrow got a big patch. We haven't heard any. There's nothing new from our creators, right? Did we get where did that official art come from? Was it on their website? Somebody posted a bunch of new screenshots, and I'm not quite sure where they came from. Northern Rust Belt. Blue Gate. Big open fields and stuff. Cool. Whoops. So yeah, I think that's it. We'll just do a short stream today. Got you guys up to speed. YouTube video coming out, going over that, and it's just an update video. We'll see what the weekend and next week brings. I'll try to get a better plan put together, so I'm not so caught off guard. I didn't stream it all this week because I was caught off guard. So hopefully we can get a normal stream in next week. Hopefully I have a desire to play Tarkov. I would like to try to get Kappa before Battlefield drops, but that's looking less and less likely every day. But appreciate everybody hanging out. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy whatever game you're playing or whatever you're doing. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Later, everybody.